Melbourne is not about the bars and the restaurants and the shopping, beautiful buildings and the parks. It's not about the A-grade public transport or the clean streets and housing affordability. Melbourne is the world's most livable city because of the people. We look after each other as strangers and stand up for each other when needed. We are a friendly and caring city. That's why we're the world's most livable city. My earliest memories of Melbourne were probably my dad had a friend who drove one of those big Greyhound buses. He was taking us down to the bay and he drove through the city, and it was just my sister and me and dad in this giant bus, and I could sit anywhere I liked, and I got a very good view of what Melbourne looks like from above the cars. That was my first memory. When I first went into the city by myself, I was with a group of friends and we went down towards Crown and down near South Bank. It was a really life-changing moment. I never really forgot that memory. It was a really life-changing event. I wanted to be in the city. I recognised opportunities, lots of people, lots of jobs and lots of social activities. That was something I always wanted to strive for in Melbourne when I got to the actual central business district. Eureka Tower, of course, Melbourne Eye, Docklands. Federation Square is probably a place that I go often because it changes so much, and a lot of the events there are for free. It's very artistic. There's always something happening, there's something to explore, and it's a good place to just sit around and relax. The graffiti in the laneways, it's part of Melbourne life now. It started in the early 80s. It was very creative, so much so that it became a point of Melbourne. Businesses actually request for artists to come and work on their walls. So Hosey Lane is probably the most popular. My favourite landmark in Melbourne, it has to be Princess Bridge. I walk over it every day. You really get a good sense of how big the city is. It just shows how pretty a city we have, and it's the best views that you get. As well as it's the only place in Melbourne that has our official slogan and the emblem, which a lot of people don't even know. I work at the IBM Tower for an energy company. I'm a customer advocate specialist, so I basically deal with ombudsman complaints. My job, it's basically complaints, but you write essays and match codes of practices with events that happened that led to the complaint. It is stressful. You're trying to deal with the complaints from the actual customers. You've got to deal with external parties, and you've got time frames with all of this. Some people are a bit demanding, pretty demanding job in general, to be honest. After work, I tend to go out maybe for a drink, go out for dinner with somebody else finishing work at that time. One of my favourite restaurants is The Quarter in De Grave Street. It's a pretty popular street. Hardware Lane I go to. I like the fact that you walk down the street and everybody's proposing. You walk into their bar and they'll give you a free drink, and all the offers that are on the table, half price and that. It's a really interesting street to walk down. In the bars I go to Ponyfish. Ponyfish sits underneath what I call the Ribbon Bridge. It's like a little footbridge that connects from Flinders Street to South Bank. Albion Float is the little pop-up bar that's rocked up in Melbourne for a few months, so I like to sit on the floating bar. So my time is now spent down at the very far end of the Docklands. It's quiet there, you've got the water, you get to watch the ships. It's just really nice to sit there. One of my favourite parts of Melbourne. Each bell has a different sound to it, and not only do they have each sound, but the lights, especially on cold nights, this whole area will glow. It makes it very enchanting. It's like a rainforest of shells, and it's peaceful. Currently on the bridge that connects from Birramungmar to the MCG. It's always impressive when you come back this way. The view that you get, I mean, not only do you get this view of Spring Street, Upper Spring Street and Upper Collins, but you've got this gorgeous view of South Bank over here. When you get further up, higher onto the bridge that connects us to the MCG, you get the whole thing, and you've got the trains going through, you've got the trams, you've got the cars. You're really in the thick of it, but you're quite isolated from it as well. So I don't know if you can hear it, but you will hear faint singing while you walk across this bridge. It's Aboriginal folk singing, like heritage singing. and it's to commemorate because the Aboriginals used to live all along here, mainly because the river was here.